Hey everybody, this is Matthew with Woohoo Group. We just released our Hyatt redemption tracker. It's a dashboard where you kind of see how you've stayed at Hyatt's, how you've redeemed your points, and what value you've gotten. I'm hoping this can be useful for you. It's free, and let me know if you have any feedback in terms of bugs or how this can be improved. But I'll take you through what this dashboard means, all the different numbers, and then how you can enter your own information to track your own Hyatt stays. So let's get into it. So first, this top box over here, we're going to look at the Hyatt nights. This is pretty simple. This calculates the total amount of Hyatt nights you stayed, and out of those, how many of them were free. I have 4 different booking types: cash and work, which are going to be paid stays, versus points and award nights, which are the free stays. I know technically with work it's free, but it's just a different type of free, and we're again more focused on the travel points and award usage. So that's why I break it out. But you're free to edit the formulas however you wish in this document. So breaking it down later, at the bottom here, Hyatt Nights breakdown, that kind of talks about the 4 different categories of booking types I have. Again, pretty self-explanatory, summing it all up. And the last thing over here is it's the same thing, but broken down by nights. I do combine the award nights and points nights into just free nights to keep it simpler. Again, if you want to see it broken out, you just got to edit the pivot table to capture that. But I hope this is pretty self-explanatory. On the right here is going to be a little bit more complicated because there's a lot of different ways to look at points and value. Some people want to look at the minimum value. Other people love inflating it to show all the value they've gotten outside of just booking the reservation. The free parking, club access, lounge rewards, things like that Hyatt provides. So I kind of have all of these options here. Choose however which you want to go with. So for the first one, the Hyatt points and awards, that includes your points redemptions and your free night award redemptions. So I calculate all the points you used, how much that would have cost if you paid in cash, and then calculate the cent per point. If you don't know what CPP is, it's basically the industry standard measure of calculating the value of points. So real quick, for regular statement credit, it's 1 point equals 1 cent. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio, but when you redeem for airlines and hotels, that value can be more. So what this is saying here with 3.4 CPP is that each of my points was worth at least 3.4 cents. Hope that explains it clearly. On the right side, it's the same thing. I just add guest of honor reservations. For Hyatt, I guess it's not even just guest of honor. For Hyatts, you can book hotels using your points for other people. You just got to clarify with the hotel first and make sure that's all clear. But I'm including that here on the right in case you also want to consider that value. So this middle section, I kind of take out the free night awards because that does inflate total cents per point per night. This is just looking at the nights you booked with points, the cash it would have cost, and again, the CPP. This is a truer value in a sense of what your points are actually worth. And then the last part is just the fun part. What's the max value that you've gotten out of all these points? So we put the free nights back in, but I'll show you in another tab where you're actually inputting all this information. You can include how much money you got for parking, upgrades or club lounge access and things like that. You can make it however you want to inflate the value of your points. But yeah, the flexibility is there to kind of see what you value and what you consider your points are worth. Last thing here, similarly on to the left, here on the right, it just breaks it down by year. I use the first parameter, points and award nights, which is why this is really inflated in this example because one of these nights is a free night award. Feel free to change it again to just be points only. But now let's talk about how you input all this information. So all this is automated. All you have to do is input your information into the Hyatt Stays tracker here. I think the columns are pretty self-explanatory, but I'll talk through them. First is the date. This is the date of the booking. So the date you land in the area and then check into the hotel. How many nights you're staying. One key thing here is if your nights are broken into award nights, points nights, or cash nights, I would separate it just to make it easier to calculate on the dashboard end. So, for example, I went to the Maldives for a couple of nights. I used points. For another night, you can see down there, I used the free night award. I just break it out to better calculate the things there. Next is just the name of the Hyatt, where it was, just for reference. The booking types I've already talked about. It's just awards, cash, points, or work. You choose which one it is. Here is pretty obvious. How many points did you use for the reservation? And then cash price. That's what you would have paid if you had paid in cash. One quick thing to note is that on the Hyatt website or the app, it'll say like $206 per night. You actually have to click in and almost make the reservation to kind of see the full price that includes taxes and maybe resort fees. So that would just get you a more accurate number. And then CPP in column J is automatically calculated, again, depending on the points versus the cash. I like keeping the track of when I booked, because sometimes I book very last minute, other times a year in advance, and then the cash price can change. So this kind of gives me a sense of what I'm actually comparing to. And then here's what we're going to talk about with the max cash price. So you can see that sometimes it's different, sometimes it's the same to the cash price. The base number is always just going to be how much you paid for, like how much it would have been in cash. So column I. But again, as I said, sometimes I like to add, I saved $57 a night in parking fees because I'm a globalist. I use a point stay. I don't count food or more ambiguous items just because that's hard to place a value on it. Though I might note it in the notes section that, at the Thompson, it was $100 dining credit that we used. Not concerned there, but again, for me to know how much value I've gotten. So up to you again, how much flexibility and how much you want to inflate this number. The points rebate column, sometimes there's promotions like the World of Hyatt business card. After you spend $50,000 on the card in a year, you get 10% back on all your Hyatt stays and points up to, I think, $200,000 spent. No, that's not right. 200,000 points spent. So that, again, is just extra points back, more value. It really means you used fewer points than you would have. So that gets all added into the calculation in the dashboard. And then the max CPP is automatically calculated, again, based off the max cash price you're now determining. And again, notes, whatever you want to add here. The Guest of Honor Redemptions tab is pretty much the same thing. I just separate it out because I like to see what I've done, and then I can figure out if the bookings I made for other people, like my brother in Australia, I want to count that value or not. Finally, this is just the extra thing that I use, not really for the dashboard, but I like to keep track of my Globalist progress. I know in the app they can track it, but here I can plan it out. I have the World of Hyatt card that gives me 5 automatic nights. Then if I spend $15,000 per year, I get 2 nights for every 5K. So you can see I've kind of put on the left the planned / anticipated amount of nights that I'll have. And then whenever I actually get them, I put them in the current / actual night. So just a quick copy paste to make sure I'm tracking. So recently I made 10K spend on my Hyatt card. Boom. I'm now copying over here because I now get an extra 2 nights, and then all my different trips and things are laid out here. Up to you if you want to use it. Again, I like use it to make sure I'm making sure I hit the 60 nights. You might not care. You might not want Globalist or need it, but again, it's here for you. So want to do a quick example of doing a stay log just to, even though I've explained everything, just do an example because I know some of you are visual learners. I have all the instructions in the blog post, but maybe you want to see this video. So let's say, I was actually supposed to be in Knoxville today. I was going to go on a quick trip, stay at Hyatt Place downtown Knoxville. Unfortunately, for other reasons, that plan was canceled. Basically, the plane was delayed 4 hours, so I just said, I'm screwed, I'm not going. But let's say I'm going to go next weekend. So let's just say, I don't know, like August 23rd, 2024 is when I want to go. I'm only going to stay for 1 night. Hyatt Place, Knoxville / downtown. I'm obviously going to use points, but I actually have free night awards that I could use as well. But for the sake of example, we'll use points. Then this is when I go to Hyatt. So you can see I already set it up over here. It's 15,000 points per night. I would select that and book. So 15,000 night or 15,000 points for that night. Then for the cash price, I would go back over here and then toggle off the use points tab. And then click the king bed plus sofa bed I think I had. So it's $238 here with my Woohoo group kind of corporate discount. So that's what I would use. You might just be a member, so you use the $273 rate. It'd be whatever the best rate you can get. So I press book now. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you can see, even though the night stay was $237, with the tax and fees, it comes out to $278. So I would put $278 and 06. Boom. The CPP is already calculated. 1.85 is not the best rate, but it's so few points, it's so cheap, and it's Knoxville that it doesn't really matter for me. Let's say it's today's date, so I'm booking at 10-17-24. And I wouldn't actually fill out the max cash price until after I made the stay. Let's say I am counting, I got that free breakfast at Hyatt Place. How much do I value that? Maybe just $10. Let's say I got upgraded to a nicer room. I don't know if they even have it in the Hyatt Place. Yeah, let's say they upgraded me to the high floor with, specialty king bed. It's $257. I gotta click through to see the max price. So, but let's just say, yeah, they upgraded that to me plus the tax fees. And the breakfast. Let's say all in is $300. Then, this would be calculated. I'm not getting, or I guess I would be getting 2,000 points back with the Hyatt award with the 2K next day. So that can help calculate it. Since that's confusing, I'm removing that. And then notes, I can just say, upgraded to high floor, free breakfast, etc. So that's kind of how you use it, and then the dashboard will be updated. Before you saw it was 10 nights, now it's 11 nights. So hope this is helpful as a dashboard. Let me know again if you have any comments, feedback, ways to improve this. Always going to try to make this helpful for myself and others. You can email me at matthew@woohoogroup.com. Otherwise, have a good one.